There are situations when you absolutely depend on your stove. The omnifuel stove is dependable, and it burns just about any kind of fuel, such as LP gas, white gas, petrol, gasoline, kerosene, paraffin, diesel, and even aviation fuel. This flexibility makes the omnifuel easy to travel with, even in remote places. This is how you use it. Fill the fuel bottle, not more than to this line. Then you attach the pump. When the pump is firmly attached, this fuel bottle does not leak. Attach the hose. This screw swivels so you don't have to turn the whole bottle like this. Just do this. Then you pressurize the fuel bottle. When it's full, you need about 20 pump strokes. Then you place the bottle with the text on, facing up. The omnifuel has two valves. One valve is just to open the flow of fuel. The second valve you use for simmering and precise control. Open the first valve all the way, and then the second. When you do this, the fuel squirts out and wets the priming pad. Let it spray for a couple of seconds, and then you turn the second valve off. Time to light it. Light the stove all the way down on the priming pad. Remember to keep the second valve closed before lighting the stove. If you use white gas, you don't need as much fuel for preheating compared with, for example, kerosene or diesel. Here we're using white gas, so a couple of seconds is enough. Always, when you're using liquid fuel, you need to preheat the burner. This is needed to get the fuel vaporized in order to get a good and clean combustion. After a while, you'll hear a hissing sound, and then you gently open the second valve again. If the stove still burns with yellow flames, turn off the valve again and let it almost burn out. Then open it again. The stove is ready to use when it's burning with a blue and very efficient flame. To really use the efficiency of the stove, you can use an Etapot with a built-in heat exchanger. That will save both fuel and weight. The omnifuel is pretty quiet and gets more quiet when you place a pot on the stove. When you turn the stove off, just flip the fuel bottle. Don't turn the valves off yet, because if you do, there'll still be fuel left in the hose, which might spill when dismantling the stove. Wait for about 60 seconds until the flame goes out. When the flame has died, the fuel hose is empty and you can turn off both valves. The stove also works with LP gas, and to get maximum output, you need to change the jet nipple. To change the jet nipple, remove the flame spreader. Then, use the multi-tool to unscrew the jet nipple. Then place the jet nipple in the multi-tool and attach it. When you buy the stove, the jet for gas is mounted. The jet for gas has the largest hole, 4.5. The principle is that the cleaner fuel, the larger the hole. Attach the flame spreader and then the hose to the cartridge. When using gas, you don't have to preheat. Just open both valves and light the stove. When you turn off the stove, make sure that you turn off both valves before you remove the cartridge. One of the advantages with the omnifuel is that it's very rugged and you can do the maintenance yourself. One thing that you need to do regularly is clean the jet nipple with the multi-tool. Unscrew it first so you can clean it from both sides to be sure that no dirt is left. If you're using kerosene or diesel, you have to clean the jet more often. Another thing, this small brass cone opens when you pump and then closes to prevent the fuel coming out. If this cone gets stuck, the pump will leak. This is extremely rare, but if it happens, just take it out and then put it back in again. The O-ring goes in first. If you haven't used your stove for a long time, this leather gasket might be dry. You notice this when the pumping is ineffective and you cannot build up any pressure in the fuel bottle. If this happens, just grease it up and it works again. If you want to know more, go to primus.se.